Hey, welcome to today's special edition of Wolf's Watch. Sorry I'm running a couple minutes late to get started. You ever had one of those days where your contacts just feel like you have grits of sandpaper on the inside of the lens? So having a challenge with that, figured, you know what? Instead of messing with it, we'll just take them off and put my reading glasses on. We are ready to go. We have a special guest today. That's why we are on at a different time from you'll see we've got some standard times where we're doing mornings and afternoons today, though, to be able to interview Raven Blair Glover. Raven is the founder of Raven International Broadcast Media. She is building an incredible media empire around that. We have a show on her TV channel, Raven International TV, which you can see on Amazon Fire TV, on Roku. Also, from the shows that are posted on her channel, you can also find podcasts on Spotify and other major podcast sites. And it's not just our show. There's a lot of other shows that are on there. Great content. The theme is health, lifestyle, and wealth. Really want to check that out. Raven International TV on Roku and Amazon Fire TV. Raven has a lot more than that, though. She has been doing podcasting for well over a decade. She received in 2016, she was a recipient of the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award, right? From the President of the United States, a Lifetime Achievement Award. What an incredible honor. Raven's joining us here. Lang, just give me a second. Hey, Raven.
Hey, I'm here. I feel like I'm cut off halfway. Can you see me? There I go. Okay. I was like,
To get my earbuds, so we're going to use the old school. Raven, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing good. Can you hear me okay, Jeff?
Loud and clear. Is just introducing you to our listeners, those that are watching. You're talking about your Lifetime Achievement Award, and how just ever since you were a child, you dreamt of being on the radio. But yet that started way later in your journey than it did for a lot of people, especially amazing professionals like yourself. And you were
Yeah.
55 when you started.
Yeah, 55 years old, and that's when the
Wow.
dream came to me. I always say my dream found me at the hospital.
Oh my
But
gosh.
it was it was exciting but scary, because
Hmm.
it was something I wanted to do for years. But you know how our dream circle kind of shrinks down as we experience what I call life happenings.
Yes.
And that's exactly what happened. So I lost hope. I
Mm.
didn't want to take no FCC test. So when I heard Alex Mendozian say that you could do this real cool thing called podcasting and you didn't need to have a FCC license, well, I got super excited about that. That was like too cool. I was like, yeah, that sounds like me, and that you can do it over a free conference call line.
Well, and
And
that was very early in podcasting too. You were one of the very
yeah,
early adopters to put a show out.
Mhm. Yeah, 2006. I'm not sure of the dates now, but I think it was podcasting really got I was it Adam Curry, I think, back in 2004 or somewhere in there,
Mhm.
in the early 2000s. So this was 2006. So I was pretty early in the game, in doing this. And when mother was at the hospital, I lived in the ICU unit with my sister. We stayed there in the ward with
Mm.
mom for 3.5 weeks. So
Wow.
this was about maybe around the second week in the hospital. I jumped on a conference call with Alex Mendozian. It was Tell Us Some of Our Secrets. And he said the quickest way to become an expert is to interview experts. You can do this thing called podcasts, and people can hear you from all over the world. And you can do it from a conference call line and interview greats. People will
Mhm.
want to be on your show. Look for authors. Authors want to get books on and do virtual book tours with them using your podcast. And he said, call it a radio show. You can call it radio shows, podcast, but why take the time to educate everybody what a podcast is? Just say you have a radio show. So I, took notes at the hospital, and I took a piece of paper, one of those legal pads, and drew down the line in the middle. What do I need to do, and where do I need to begin? And I just brain dumped. And then I would circle in red the first things I needed to do. Like number one, I needed to come up with a name, so I called it Women Power. And I said it's for women like me who want more out of life and are determined to get it. And I said, okay, who are my audience? People like me, people in baby boomer women, and the men who love them. That was who the audience was. And they knew there was more inside. They just didn't know how to break through those barriers and get there. So then I said,
Powerful.
who am I going to go after? And I said, people that have been there, done that, wore the t-shirt, drank off the coffee cup, and were bold
Yes.
enough to come tell not just their story, but give us strategies, share with us how they got past their pain. What are some specific things they did? And that was when Women Power Talk Radio was born, which is now Amazing Women and Men of Power
Mm-hmm.
podcast network. And, of course, from that, we realized people just didn't need to hear us. They needed to see us. So we started the Raven TV under the Raven International Media brand. So that one idea, that one seed got planted. And at the hospital has become, as you know now, Raven International
Mm-hmm.
Media Empire, where we help people come from the shadows to the spotlight, be seen, heard, and read, because now we also are a publishing company and we do a lot of PR. We get people in books, and we get people on mainstream TV, just in Fortune, Forbes, all these big publications. So we come a long ways from that time in the hospital.
And where can we connect with with your international media presence?
Well,
Is
that's a
where
good question, because we have a new site being built now, but it will be under Raven International Media Empire.
Oops.
Yeah.
Oops. Okay.
Mhm. So it will be under Raven International Media Empire. If you type in Raven International Media, it's going to take you to one of our sites. Or anybody that wants to contact me, they can just send me an email to talkshowmaven@gmail.com, talkshowmaven@gmail.com. But I'm proud to say I spoke to my web guy yesterday, and so all of our different sites will be under one umbrella, Raven International Media Empire, and that will be up by the second week of August. So we're excited about that.
Awesome. So that's definitely, as you're watching this, you definitely want to check out Raven International Media. There's a lot going on. A magazine as well.
We got a
Launching a
magazine on
magazine.
hold because now I'm writing for Steve Olsher's podcast magazine. It was just
Okay.
too much. So we're probably going to do mentors, masters, and innovators. We're probably going to do that like we're thinking again, maybe in the fall, September, October, somewhere in there. We'll do another issue. So right now I'm only doing one issue for that while I'm writing for him, because I'm starting to, I'm 69 now.
Wow.
My role a little bit.
And an inspiration too. You look great. You've got so much energy. My
Thank
gosh.
you. Thank you so much. Well, it's a blessing. I
Yeah.
think this pandemic, if nothing else, how sometimes we have a birthday after year, and we expect it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes it can even be, I'll be honest, I'm sure the listeners and that are watching or listening, they probably have had times where, it just felt like another birthday, right? Because we have it so much. And so we're like, oh, okay, it's another birthday. But I think during this pandemic, with so many people that have lost their lives, we're looking at it a lot differently. We're starting to say, wow, you know, wow, I made it, to another birthday. So I think once we get past this pandemic, we'll never look at birthdays, holidays, or the mention of a disease that may be in another country. We'll never look at that the same as we did before. We have a whole different value of life and of each other as humans, and that's why I'm excited
Yes.
about Broadcast Unite.
Yes. I'm glad you brought that up because from trying times come great things.
Yeah.
You have created an incredible event to bring some positive, uplifting messages to the forefront. Please tell us more about it. I was teasing the audience about that earlier, and
Mhm.
please tell us more about Broadcasters United.
Oh yeah, well, Broadcasters Unite. It was brought to me, put on my heart. It's amazing how you know um, through our pain, a lot of things are created and born out of the pain we have, right? And that's how, as us leaders and coaches, how we end up, creating coaching programs and books and all the different things, masterminds, because it really usually comes from the pain we have or the pain someone else's have. And so, of course, in March, was the beginning of the bad, really the virus getting really bad. We heard about it, but it really started getting bad in March, and it really depressed me. I was feeling, OMG, I got a birthday coming up April 12th. I'm not even sure if I'm going to make it. The way they're making it sound, that people were dying, especially people
Hmm.
my age.
Yep.
They senior citizens, they were pretty much saying stay home because we're taking care of the young ones, which I get it. We've lived our life. They're having. But even though I got it, didn't mean I liked it, And so
Right.
I'm
Right.
like, well, I'm
It's a
not
very
ready.
scary time.
Yeah, I'm not ready to die. This is very depressing. So they're basically telling us to, if our temperature, until our temperature hits 104, just stay here. So they're pretty much was saying until you get to the point where you're probably going to pass out and get on the ventilator, stay home and sweat it out. So that was very dim. It really was very sad and very scary. And then they were talking, of course, of all these people dying. And they were saying, mostly it was hitting blacks. Hello, that's me. People that were in their 60s. Hello, that was me, right? And then they also said if you have any high risk, and they named blood pressure and a lot of stuff like that. So I have high blood pressure, I have high cholesterol. So there was three things against me, three strikes, and me and my husband. And so it was it was crushing. I just felt like, wow, I don't know if we're gonna make it. And I felt like there was so much uncertainty. I wasn't thinking about my business. I was thinking about
Hmm.
my life, my family's life,
Yes.
my friend's life,
Yes.
my host's life. The business was the last thing I thought about. In fact, I was very adamant about not doing any business because I hate when people and I'll probably get a lot of stink about this, but I hate when people take advantage of things, like this. And I
Right.
started getting all these emails of people wanting to sell and stuff. And I was like, well, can you give us a few weeks to deal with this?
Yeah.
This is
Right
not,
at the time. Right at the time when we most need to come together and help
yeah,
each other.
yeah.
It's like,
And they're like, it's coming out with the COVID-19, this and all that. It's like, I'm not ready
mhm.
for that. That made me kind of upset. But my husband and he was showing me the behind the scenes, the making of We Are the World. And as you know, Jeff, Khalid worked with Michael Jackson, Prince, and a lot of stars. But one of the big things he did early on was he was one of the producers, the engineers and producers over at the We Are the World project. So we were watching the making of, and they had everybody was happy to see each other. Diana Ross was so happy to see Quincy, and all these people were happy to see these stars. And a lot of them, for the first time, they were meeting someone that they really looked up to. And they were like little kids. And then all of a sudden, Quincy stood on this platform with this guy. I guess he was from Africa. And he said, I want to introduce you. Can I have your attention? I want to introduce you to the reason we're here. And Jeff, that was so impactful because I actually got to witness from watching them on TV, them go from excited to see each other like little kids and happy to see the celebrity they already wanted to meet to this is real. This isn't about us
Wow.
seeing each other. And I can
Yeah.
tell you, if you guys, it's on cable. So if you just look for the making of We Are the World, and you'll see it too. So you're seeing the transformation right in front of your eyes from them being excited about seeing each other to, ooh, this is real. Kids and people are starving over there. We got to do what we can do. And they poured their heart and their soul, their gut, everything into the We Are the World song. Well, that was so inspiring and uplifting to me.
Hmm.
All of a sudden, I got an idea, just like I did at the hospital. to do the Broadcasters Unite Lift Up the World project, which is now becoming a movement. And so we're going to do part one. I've had a lot of distractions being in the pandemic. And as you know, we launched the Profitable Podcaster
Hmm.
Agency. A lot going on behind the scenes. I haven't been able to pour my heart into it the way I want. But we are already over 50 videos that people have
Wow.
seen.
More than
And
50. Oh my
yeah, I
gosh.
took my board of advisors, which is you, Jeff,
Hmm.
and Kathy Sexton, and Debbie, and all the wonderful people. And I can't even name everybody. We've got some great
Hmm.
advisory board rather, for Raven International. And so I took the idea to you guys. You were excited about it, and we said, let's do this. And well,
Yes.
that was back. We were supposed to do it in when April.
April. Yeah. We originally planned for April,
Yeah,
though good things come to those who wait.
yeah.
It's just gotten better.
The way I think then it went from the pandemic situation to the I don't want to say riots. What do you call it?
Well, the protests and all, everything, the aftermath of what happened with
And
the George
dying
Floyd
and
killing.
stuff like
Yes.
that. Yeah, so it started going in a different direction, and we needed to let. I felt we needed to let people feel what they needed to feel,
Hmm.
and it wasn't time. It was really on top of the pandemic with what was going on, all the killings and stuff. Well, that was just heart wrenching, and people needed to feel what they needed to feel. And I just didn't think it was the time. And we as the advisory board said, let's wait. And I'm glad we did, because now is the perfect time to bring this to the world. And we made it easy. We said just send in a short video of inspiration, of hope, of empowerment, of showing people what you're doing during this time, showing people
Hmm.
how they can meditate to release the stress, how they can get past the uncertainty and step into the future. Because if they think and talk about a future, there most likely will be a future. But if they were like I was, panic stricken and hopeless, and really starting to think more about death than life, then you could very well, without meaning to, speak that in your life, you
Hmm.
know. And
Yes.
so, purpose of Broadcasters Unite is to bring all broadcasters together who are broadcasters, podcasters, live stream TV hosts, traditional TV hosts, traditional radio hosts, live streamers, periscopers, Instagram. And also, I look at broadcasting as the bloggers, vloggers with the V,
Hmm.
bloggers, right? As the YouTubers, anyone that's communicating to the world, and they're broadcasting out their message, you know. So we invited all of them to, join us in lifting up the world.
Well, and there have been broadcasters from as far away as China that have submitted videos. It's just been astounding.
It's amazing, and this is just one.
Hmm.
Like I said, it started off as Broadcasters Unite Lift Up the World project, but it's easily turning into a movement. As you know, alignable.com has joined us,
Hmm.
and Castro. He's one of the big chiefs over there, and Eric is the owner. But he interviewed me yesterday, and so that aired, and so we're getting other people that said,
Wow.
"Oh, I wish I could have, but I don't know if I can get it in right now. So maybe I'll be part of the other one," because they didn't think they could get their video. And then we have people that are sending in their videos. So I'm hoping at least we have 60 videos. That's our goal. I originally said 60, so we're sticking with that. I think we have like maybe 52 now.
Oh, so
So
close.
yeah, anyone that's listening to this, what's today's date?
Today
Um,
is the 16th,
Yeah, if you can
July
get
16th.
us a 7 to 15 minute video of an empowering message that you want to pass on to the world, that will help lift their spirits, give them hope, We don't really want it where it's talking about what's going on as far as politics, or not even what's going on as far as the pandemic or racism or any of that, right, Jeff?
Right.
We want
Right.
just messages to inspire people that this too shall pass. As dark as it is right now in the world, and we're all experiencing something we have not experienced in our lifetime. And so it is difficult, and we're not dismissing that. We just want for one day, we want to air positive programming that will lift up the world. I can't say it any different than
Hmm.
what you named it, Jeff, right?
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
thoughts on it?
Well, and it's positive programming that acknowledges that these are tough times right now, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a way through. There is a future on the other side of it. There's a way through it, and to hear all the different things that people are doing, the different ideas, it's like watching a whole series of positive. Here's how to get into and create a positive future. TED Talk style videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's it's just really it I don't know. I just felt seeing some of the videos, having had some sneak peeks. It truly is uplifting. It feels good to hear such a different message and to see people talking about, look, here's how we're getting through this.
Yeah.
Let's come and together. That whole thing of coming together, we will get through this.
Yeah, I'm up here looking for, keep talking, Jeff. I'm trying to
Okay.
find information for uh,
Hmm.
the charity, and I can't seem to find it. Do
Oh
you have?
yes, right. And there's a nonprofit, not for
Yeah,
profit attachment.
yeah.
So it's this isn't about selling. There's no selling. This isn't a business
Oh, yeah.
event. This is truly more. If I could, it's more of a spiritual event. It's about from the heart globally. How can we come together to get through tough times and create a positive future on the other side of it?
Yeah.
And it just that has such a big impact, watching what we speak into existence. Because as you're watching this, you've I don't know about you, but I have had nights where I have woken up in a sheer panic. I have had days where I'm just like, oh, you know what, I don't think this is going to work. I don't know if we're going to get through this. And that's I've been very careful about not speaking that out loud and surrounding myself with people like Raven and the participants in the Broadcasters Unite project to have positive input. It's like, we will get through this. Why will we get through
Yeah.
this? Because we're coming together. It's times like these that bring people together, and that's how we get through it into a better future. I grew up around the generation that went through the Great Depression, and then right after that, World War II. And the
Yeah. Okay.
the three things that I always heard them talk about was how hard it was, especially during the Depression.
Mm-hmm.
But in the same breath, how much fun they had. The third thing being because they came together, right? It forced them to really come together as local communities, as broader communities, in order to get through it. Because jobs were scarce, money was scarce. It was so here we are in a similar situation in terms of there's medical scares. It's being able to do the right thing when we're out in public, so that we keep flattening the curve and avoiding a resurgence as far as COVID goes. The coming together to make sure the changes that must be made actually get made after all the issues that were brought up after George Floyd
Mm-hmm.
was killed. That we can't let that go without getting the changes made. The only way that happens is if we come together.
Yeah. And coming together as human beings that
Yes.
are experiencing all this together at the same time. You know, I'm going to be honest. I remember, seeing people in China and other countries wearing masks throughout my life. I remember seeing this, especially in the past decade, and I would sit down for a moment and listen, but and I felt sorry for them, and I had compassion, but I went on about my life. You know what I'm saying, Jeff? I went on and went to the movies. I went on and went
Right.
to work. I went on and went outside and enjoyed a great meal with my husband. You know what I'm saying? I went to
Hmm.
conventions. and all that stuff, and hugged each other. In fact, March, let's see, I think it was the week of March 16th, I had caught the train from LA to San Diego, to be at Steve Osher's event, and my husband was asked to speak in Ireland. And we
Wow.
both left a day apart. We both got back a day apart. But we were both wondering, especially him in Ireland, he had to change his ticket, and it cost him $1,000 then just to change his ticket, because at that time the president was saying you got to be back by Friday or no more travel in.
Hmm. Oh my
And
gosh.
at Steve's, we were hugging on each other and everything, knowing that they had told us that it was here in the U.S. But human beings hug. We hug,
Hmm.
and we had even talked about it, that we were going to do like an elbow thing, and we weren't going to hug. And then at the end, we were all laughing because it was so, every time we see each other, hi, because you hadn't seen each other in a while. But and then I had to catch the train back. Good thing I wore my mask on the train and stuff. But when I got back home and I seen those pictures of us hugging and the videos and stuff, I was like, boy, if I knew then what I knew now, I would have never went. So my
Yeah.
point is, what I've learned from this is that we're not exempt from things happening to us. I think being in the U.S., we've kind of felt that way, right? Until, remember what happened at 911, with the airplanes going into buildings and stuff, and now this, and both of those things are serious wake-up calls that we are all on one planet. We all are humans. We all
Yes.
cry. We all have pain. We all have families. We love. We all do bad things. We all do great things. You see what I'm saying? We
Yes.
are all human beings. And human beings do not need to be shut in.
Mm-mm.
And even it's even given me more compassion with and understanding about how wrong it is to take animals in that aren't supposed to be shut in. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying? It has you
yeah. Good point.
a lot of things differently. How some people get pets and they're really meant to be outside,
Yep.
but they're taking a pet. So we're all experiencing stuff that we never thought we had before, but at the same time, we have to do it if we want to live. People have their different opinions about mask and not mask, and Broadcasters Unite is not meant to change anybody's opinion. We don't touch that.
Yes.
Somebody may come on with their mask,
Mm.
but we don't have anybody that's saying do this, do that. We don't want to get in that political, because everybody has the right, I feel, to feel the way they need to feel. Even if I don't understand it, you have the right to feel that way, and I have the right to
Hmm.
feel my way. I think how Les Brown says, how hungry are you, Jeff?
Yes. Absolutely.
Well, I want to say to everybody watching this, and I guess my message is, how hungry for life are you?
Amen. Yeah.
Do the
Wow.
things that others won't, so you can live the life tomorrow like others can't. And that's a quote from Jerry Rice.
Mm.
How powerful is that? So
Oh,
our
that's incredibly powerful.
things that others won't, it all boils down to how hungry for life. How hungry are you to want to continue having life? And if you look at it like that, you will be willing to do the things that others won't, so that you
Hmm.
can have a life tomorrow and your family can have a life tomorrow. I think we're learning we're not responsible for humankind.
Yes.
You know,
Very much so.
we're not
Very
even
much so.
responsible enough when it comes to us and our families. So this is a time for all of us to stretch and to reach out and take each other's hand. Now I sound like Diana Ross. Reach out and touch. No, I can't sing. Stick to talking, Raven. There you go, Jen. You know what I'm saying? And
But is that, that's the kind of future that we can create together, right?
yeah,
Dancing in the streets. Enjoying life is meant to be. Life's not easy. It's still meant to be enjoyed, right?
Yeah.
To have that joy in life that gets, especially when we're in times like these where we're separated very much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And more people are shut in. There's a lot less interaction, and that weighs heavily on people. And
It does.
I'm watching the clock. I know we're almost out of
Yeah.
time. Where
People
where
see
can
it.
we connect with Broadcasters United? Where's that going to air?
It's going to air on Raven TV. And no, this isn't an antenna by my head. It is TV.
It's the TV.
I put up the wrong one because I was rushing. But yeah, it's you'll be looking for Broadcasters Unite. We're going to set up a Facebook page, as you know, Jeff, and
Mhm.
we'll all share it out to our Facebook page. So it'll start from Broadcasters Unite. Jeff will share it to his page. All 60 people that are in the video will be sharing it out. And then we're going to also air the replays on Roku and
Oh,
Amazon.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll have that already uploaded and ready to go. So it'll be airing on Roku, Amazon Fire, and it'll be airing on Facebook. I think we're
Yes.
going to come on the first hour of the day. We figure it's going to start at 7 a.m. Pacific. So it's going to be early. So I'm going to invite Jeff and my advisory board members to join me to help me kick it off that morning. And
Mhm.
then we'll do that live, and then we'll go to all the replays. And we'll probably come back and check in a few other times during the
Well,
day.
and there's some other surprises
It's some
that you'll want to watch so that you can see them. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
there
There
you
will
go.
be some other content and other surprises that will be occurring. So you need to
Yeah.
be there. This is going to be a happening, as we used to say. Something to experience with us all together. Now, and we touched briefly on the not-for-profit fundraising. So there's also an opportunity to contribute to the coronavirus relief fund through the global giving not-for-profit organization that's working with us.
Yeah, and I got to shout out to Ann Scheller for taking care of that for us.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
yeah. Because we wouldn't have had them without her. So yeah, we're very excited about uh, both of our partners, Alignable as
Mhm.
well as them, because it lets you know that you're on the right track when people say, "Hey, I want to be a part of what you do." So we're so excited to
Mhm.
have uh, both of them as our partners, as I am with my advisory board members like Jeff. So excited to have him. So excited to have all of you that have put in your videos. And we're not supposed to, but since we're doing this interview, I want to put it out that if somebody can get us their video before 5 p.m. Pacific on Monday, we can get you on there.
Yeah. So reach out to us. Send us a heads up in the comments as you're watching this if you want to do that, or email Raven. I'll put that back up
Yeah.
where you can reach her.
Also Maven@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
And be sure to put your phone number if you have any questions. But basically, real simple, 7 to 15-minute empowering interview. You can come on and say, hi, I'm Raven Blair Glover, Raven the Talk Show Maven. And I'm so excited that you're watching Broadcasters Unite, Lift Up the World. And my message to all of you that are looking at us right now and viewing this from all over the world is to remember this too shall pass. And then I would go into my message, and then I would close again. It's been great spending this time with you today. I hope you just have a beautiful day. You sit back, relax, and you soak in every video, every message, because it came from everybody's heart, from our hearts to yours. Again, my name is Raven Blair Glover, Raven, the Talk Show Maven, and please be safe, stay healthy, and remember, we will be on the other side dancing and hugging again soon, as something like that. And that's off the cuff, but that's what I recommend. Notice I didn't show no book. I didn't say,
Yep.
check out my podcast, go get, we don't want any of that. We've instructed our engineers to delete that
Mm-hmm.
out.
Yep.
That's not what this is. It's not a salesy. Jeff, we didn't want to bombard people with a lot of free gifts. As nice as they are, we didn't want to do it. We really want people to sit back in their favorite chair and to soak in their messages and then take a break and come back, and they'll just pick up on the other messages.
And the messages, some of the stories of great positive experiences people have had in the midst of turmoil
Mm-hmm.
are just phenomenal. I mean, it comes back to what do we bring in? What are we putting in our ears? What are we speaking out into the world? And it just helps me get through the days, even when I'm like going, okay, this is great. We're moving forward through this.
Mm-hmm.
As much as on days that it's more of a struggle, to hear those kind of messages and go, wow, okay, there's
Awesome.
definitely hope for the future, to see that people are having, to see what are having great experiences, to see what people are doing, like what you've been doing. You launched a new agency. You've created this event during a
Yeah.
time when a lot of people, could very easily say, you know what, I'm just going to sit back and wait and see what happens.
And it was hard for
So,
me, as I told you at the beginning,
yeah,
to
yeah.
even get to the business part because I didn't want to be perceived as someone that was taking advantage of the
Hmm.
time. And I know, some people aren't really intentionally taking advantage, but it appears that way,
Yeah,
And so I had to sit
yeah,
back till it felt right for me. And then I
yes.
realized that, starting the Profitable Podcaster Agency would be servicing so many people that were wondering what they're doing. And then when I looked at that, I'm like, well, this is probably what other people are doing too. But I'm a big believer in timing, Jeff.
Hmm.
And so I feel really good that I
Yeah.
chose to not bombard people with that. And this is the last thing I want to say. You mentioned how I was able to do so much from me struggling with even wondering if I was going to make it. It was because looking at We Are the World and how that came about, it made me, it was so inspiring. It inspired me to take action that would take me from my pain to helping people that were feeling the same way. So I think Zig Ziglar said, I'm pretty sure it was Zig Ziglar that said something similar to this, that if you help enough people um, let me see, if you help enough people get what they want, I'm paraphrasing it, you'll get what you want. So it was
Yeah.
something similar to that. I don't know exactly. And it's so funny that would come to me because that's the very quote. You've heard my story over and over again, Jeff.
Yes.
That what inspired me at the hospital, to take the focus off of what I was going through and to look at how many people I would help if I just followed my instinct, follow my gut intuition, and reach out and help others that are having that same pain. And that's what
Hmm.
there are many people that are watching this, because I know you're very active in the coaching world and the leadership world. So I know a lot of people that will be watching this from all over. They are leaders, they are coaches, they are mentors, they are authors and speakers. And for those that aren't, maybe it's your time to shine. Maybe
Yeah.
during this time of shut in, that you can really figure out what it is that you want to do. So as bad a time as this is, it just like when I was at the hospital, mother was going back and forth. We didn't know she was going to make it in and out of surgery. And I remember my sister said, "What are you talking about doing a show? We don't even know if mom's going to make it." And I remember saying to her so confidently, "Yeah, but this is on my heart. This is so deep in my heart. I feel it in my soul that this is what I'm supposed to do." Never even thinking that it would amount to what it's amount to, and sure didn't think I'd be getting a presidential lifetime achievement award. So you never know. From Barack
This is true.
Obama. So you
This
never
is true.
know, right? Mm-hmm.
And Raven, I'm sorry, we're out of time. Thank you so much for making time in your schedule, because I know you're like one interview after another to promote this, and
Yes.
you're normally doing a lot of interviews to begin with. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah.
As you're watching this, Broadcasters Unite, Lift Up the World, that's on July 24th. Keep an eye on social media, because we'll be sending out invites and links to you to be able to watch that and participate. There'll be some surprises in terms of content and guests on that. Raven, thank you so much for what you're doing. It's I got to say, it's just so as you're watching this, for full disclosure, I had the opportunity to get to know Raven and her husband Khalid before she had approached me and said, "Hey, we're doing some of these projects," and Raven is one of those people that when she says, "Hey, I would like to," I knew immediately the answer was yes, sure. Oh, by the way, what are we doing?
Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you. We are so happy you're on our advisory board. You and Alice. Hey, Alice.
Alice says hello. She said to tell you hello.
Good. And we're so excited that your show is on there. And you guys watch his show. He's amazing. You're a great interviewer, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I
Bye,
appreciate that.
everyone.
Praise.
And stay safe, stay healthy.